Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. We are going to look at a few houses and I'm just going to just take you guys through of how I make decisions when buying a house. I don't care if you're looking to purchase for your own personal reasons or you're looking to purchase for reasons of an investor. Now, honestly, this video is going to be suited a little more for those who are looking to buy for more personal reasons. Now, I am I decided to go into Anderson, Indiana, because, for one, it's one of the more affordable cities in Indiana to purchase a home in. For two, it's within an hour of Indianapolis. It's only a half hour from the suburbs of Hamilton County, Indiana. It's only a half hour from Muncie. So, Anderson, Indiana is conveniently located close to a lot of areas that have bigger economies and more amenities and more entertainment. Now, Anderson in itself does have all the basic amenities. It does have a fair amount of restaurants. If you're interested in living in Anderson, go check out my Anderson videos on my channel here. I got plenty of them made. So go check them out. Now, this house is on East 4th Street. On the surface, this house may not be a bad house to purchase. Now, let me show you something here, though. I'm going to show you guys the reason why I wouldn't buy this house. Now, to start with, here's now for the good. This house is brick, and it's got decent square footage. It's a little over 1,200 square feet. The lot size is not bad. It's a little over 8,000 square feet. Now this, now when you look through the pics, it does not look like a bad house at all. And East 4th Street is not a bad area. I'm gonna go through these pics kind of quick because I got other properties I need to show you guys. So you look at the pics. I would say for the most part, at least in my opinion, not bad pics. So far, so good. This house has been on the market for only 8 days, and within 8 days, the seller has decided to go down $10,000. So this house was listed at 120, and now they're only asking 110. So the seller clearly is motivated to get rid of this house. At least it appears so. I mean, if you want to, you can read all this word solid in terms of the features of the house. You can look the description. And if you're interested in that, or if you want to look at the meat and potatoes of the house, the important stuff, click down to the property futures. This will give you all the important stuff like square footage and whether it's on a basement or a crawl space and the material that it's made of. It's obvious that the house is brick. And if you're interested in the age of the house, this area will let you know that as well. The house is 59 years old. You can look at all your pricing history records if you desire. And by the way, I'm on realtor.com. Now, here's the reason why I think this house would be, at the very least, a risky purchase. And this is also the reason why that me personally, if I was looking to buy a house, I wouldn't buy this house. The flood factor is moderate, which means when it rains a lot or when it snows substantially during the winter time, the potential of water penetrating into your house is significant. I mean, the risk is there. It's significant in my opinion. And if you have water damage to your house due to a bad rainstorm or a snowstorm, that's going to be considered a flood, and your home insurance company, your homeowner's insurance company, will most likely not pay for it, because to get damages like that covered, you're going to most likely have to purchase flood insurance. So that's the reason why I would not buy this house, because the flood factor is moderate, which some people are willing to take that chance. Me, no, thank you. And honestly, there's no lowball offer that I would even put on that house that would make it worth it, in my opinion. So we're going to keep it moving. Now here's another house, same, around the same price, 110,000. This house is located on Lindbergh Road, which is in North Anderson, which actually is in a better neighborhood compared to East Fourth. Now, this area, depending on where on Lindbergh this house is located, Lindbergh is a relatively busy street. You do got traffic there. You will have traffic noise. And during the week when school is in session, you will have to deal with that traffic as well. However, if that does not bother you, or if you get off of work like in the evening time to where Lindbergh would be a little quieter, so if the traffic during the day does not bother you, then this is a good little house to look at. I mean, this house, $110,000. It's been on the market for 4 days. Most likely, it's going to be under contract in a couple more days, because this is a good area. I mean, this is a stone house. It's got a full basement. It's got a It's got a full basement. It appears to have a one-car garage. You got you got a little over a quarter of an acre, so you do got a decent sized lot. Let's look at some pics. And I'm gonna try to go a little quick here, because I want you guys to see all the properties that I'm gonna show you. I mean, you got a full basement. The furnace appears to be older, but look how clean the basement is. Nice and clean. I mean, and this basement also appears to be fairly solid. Now, obviously, you would want to go look at the house in person, as I'm gonna always tell you to go do before you before you choose to go on contract with this house. You're gonna want to look at it in person. But just off of the pics, this house does not look bad at all. You got a nice sized yard. And just by the looks of this garage, maybe it could be a two-car garage. I'm not sure. That now in the description, I mean, like when you look at the property details, which there's a little thing you can click below the description. Now they say that the garage is a little over 500 square feet, so I don't know if that's big enough for two cars or not. So yeah, if you guys want to look at all the juicy details, all you gotta do is click right here. There you go. Now you're gonna want to make sure that the house you're getting ready to buy is not in a flood zone, which this house isn't. The flood risk factor is minimal, which is what you're gonna want, which is what I would want, and I wouldn't go anything worse than minimal. Anything that says moderate or severe, I'm not gonna buy. So this, all in all, this is a good house to buy. I mean, this is a good house to at least look at, and if it checks, you know, if it checks most all your boxes once you get there physically, this would definitely be a good house to purchase. I mean, 110,000 asking, go in at maybe 90, 95, and just go from there. All right, let's keep it moving. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with Anderson or you never really bought houses before, I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you look at houses that are like super cheap, like this one, I mean, as you guys can see, the entire roof has been destroyed. So, and there's probably a ton of water, a ton of water damage, termites, everything under the sun that's in that house. So clearly with that house, if you buy that house, you're basically purchasing the land. I mean, this house is located in North Anderson, which the area itself is okay. But if you buy this house, primarily you're paying that $10,000 for the land. So just bear that in mind. This house, uh, I would say with this house, yeah, if you want to, You can fix it up, bring it back to code and everything. Now, this house does have substantial structural damage because a tree fell on it about a year or so ago. So, if you buy this house, you're looking at you can tear it down and rebuild another house, which is what this person might be doing. They're going to probably tear this house down and put something else up there, or maybe one of the people who live close by might tear it down, and it'll just be additional yard space. Now, for those of you that don't live in this area, you're not from Anderson. This this is located on West 10th Street, which the area. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's bad, but it's one of those type of areas where you're gonna want to look at the area for yourself, do your due diligence before making that type of a decision. Now, this house is already under contract, so this house ain't for sale. This house, it's completely gutted. You're gonna have to do every. Matter of fact, we'll look at it. But this house is, pretty much is gutted. It's going to need everything under the sun. So this house might only be $22,000. So the price is nice and low, and it comes with about a quarter of an acre. You got decent square footage. You got decent yard. But here's the reason why that I wouldn't buy the house. I mean, as you look at the interior, which we'll get to in a second here, as y'all can see, the interior has been gutted. So you're going to have to do substantial repairs to bring all that up to snuff. So the amount of money that you're going to have to put in on that house, just based off of the pics, would most likely between that and what you pay for the house, even with good negotiating, most likely for most of you, you're going to end up paying more money for that house than what the house is going to be worth, taking into consideration the area in which it's located in it. Now if you're a handyman or a handy person and you know how to do that type of work, then this could be a good little house for you. Again, with good negotiating on the asking price. I mean, honestly, for this house, if I was a handyman, I would be brave when it comes to my negotiating. They're asking about 23,000. Honestly, I would go in at I would go in at 12,000. I would be super brave because I don't think anybody's going to be kicking the door down to buy this house. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And the reason why I don't think so is number one, it's located on West 9th Street, which again, the area it's okay, but it's not, it's okay. I'll just put it like that. I'm not going to say that area is bad, but it's not the best. I mean, the house has already been on the market for 50 days. And as many of you realize, the housing market is starting to slow down. And this house has already been on the market for 50 days. And up in Anderson, Indiana, pretty soon the weather is going to start to change. So, yeah, anybody that's looking for a cheap renovation project, potentially, you're looking for a cheap renovation project, here you go. Negotiate down to maybe 13,000 and see what happens. And if you can get it for 13 and you put the money in and you put the time and money into getting the interior fixed up, at the end of the day, you'll have a decent house that you can move into. That either A is for yourself, or B you can rent it out. Investor rehab. Home lost live to be rehab. That's closed. Subfloors have been removed, so yeah, you're gonna get some subfloors. I'm not gonna read all this word solid. You guys can read it for yourself. Now the yard is fenced in, as you guys saw in the pics. Okay, they're saying that it's got new plumbing and new electric. So you're not going to have to worry about plumbing or electric, at least not the, at least not the, uh, at least some of the plumbing you're not going to have to worry about. So all the windows are in the house, so you do. So the house does come with new windows. I'm assuming. So yeah, for someone that does that type of that does that type of work, it might be a good little house. But for the majority of you that don't do that kind of work, if I were you, I would skip this house. I would skip it. The flood factor is moderate. So if you do buy that house for any reason, understand the flood factor is moderate, which is one of the reasons, which is most likely one of the reasons why it's been on the market for such a long period of time because it's got moderate flood factor. And I told you a minute ago, but I think about buying a house flood with a flood factor that's got a rating that's anything worse than minimal. But each his own. I'm just putting it out there. Let's keep it moving. Now, this person who's getting ready to buy this house, they're making a bad mistake. This house, if you go and you look at all the pics look good. The square footage is decent. The lot size is decent. Decent square footage. Decent lot size. You got about 8,000. You got 78. You got over 7,800 square feet of lot. You got close. You got 1,477 square feet of house. Almost 1,500 square feet. House has been on the market for 3 days. It's already pending, and there's a 50-50% chance that that person can change their mind. But for their sake, I hope they do. Or two, if they don't, I hope they lowball the hell out of the seller because you look at these pics, which I'm gonna go through these pics kind of fast here because this computer is like crazy, so I don't want to not show you guys more properties. So you look at the pics, everything looks good. I mean, you can tell, yeah, the interior might need minor cosmetic stuff, but for the most part, it looks good. Okay, that's it for that. Built in 1899, so it's a turn of the century home. There's a bunch of word solid that you can look through if you care. I'm not wasting my time with that. I'm gonna keep it pushing here. Here's the important, juicy information. This is the reason why I would say buying this house is a major mistake. Flood factor is major. That means when it rains or it snows a lot up there, you're going to get a lot of the potential of water penetrating into your house is substantial. And again, if that happens, your regular home insurance most likely will not pay for that damage. So if you buy a house like this that's potentially in the flood zone, you're going to want to purchase flood insurance. So that's why this house is a bad choice. So let's keep it pushing. All right, folks, could be a good house to buy. I'm going to click on it here. All right, folks, this house is headed on East Cross Street, which is in North Anderson, which is not a bad neighborhood. This house sits on a crawl space. It sits on it sits on about a third of an acre. 1,200 square feet of living space. Let's look at the flood factor before we even look at flood factor is minimal. That's good to know. Now let's go back up to the top here. And this is going to be the last house we're going to look at because this computer is acting a fool.